1985.
This is a fun movie.
I liked it.
It's a classic horror movie, cult classic. It's about a guy who's a medical student who has figured out a solution that can bring people back from the dead.
He was going to school in Europe, but then he transfers to this really prestigious program here in the USA.
He has to transfer because when he's over there, he brings back his professor, whose eyes then blow out of his head.
You can get expelled for that in Europe.
Here, that's fine.
Yeah.
Dr. Herbert West is for sure a sociopath. Not necessarily evil, but there's no moral restrictions on him whatsoever.
He'll kill a cat if he needs to.
Dr. Herbert West is the most interesting part of this movie. In a lot of ways, it's all about him, but he's not the main character. The main character is actually a doctor or a student named Kane.
A good student. He's probably going to do really well. He's applying for this like fellowship where he'll get a lot of his tuition paid for.
Kane works in the morgue. There's no chance that's going to come back later, right?
Oh.
There's also a fun scene where he goes into the morgue and he holds his breath before going in because, you know, bodies are frozen and smell bad.
But if they were going to realistically show a freezer, he would have breath, but they don't have the budget for breath. He happens to be dating the dean's daughter, Meg. They have a very, very long bedroom scene. They do have sex, but they also just like cuddle and tickle, and it's cute and intimate, and we get to really know they love each other, but it's very long. The cat shows up.
Someone clearly tossed this cat at them.
One of the big professors in the program that they're in is Dr. Hill, who is a big fan of the brain.
He is insistent that brain death is irreversible after 6 to 12 minutes. Dr. Herbert West does not agree at all.
12 minutes or more, says he.
More. And he'll break 100 pencils in class to make that clear.
He did do that.
How many pencils did he bring? Was it for that purpose? There's one scene where they're all just kind of standing around talking and they're
The main doctor and the dean are like, hello, it's good to meet you.
I have a secret for your ear.
I'm Dr. Hill. This is my dean. They didn't have a lot of space. They didn't want to show the boom.
Yeah, there was a very big boom in a very small set. Here's where the plot really, really thickens.
Over a dinner between Dr. Hill and the dean, we find out that Dr. Hill, maybe a man in his 60s, is very in love with inner 20s Meg.
Yeah. Super lecherous, super gross, totally into her. Also,
he says something like, Meg has matured a great deal.
A great deal.
This guy's got a good jaw. This guy, Dr. Hill, his jaw could cut jaws.
Yeah, my jaw was made from his jaw.
Mm-hmm.
With his jaw.
So he's got like this ability to like hypnotize people just by kind of talking at them.
Yeah, it's never explicitly said, but it's clear that they were trying to go for the fact that he's like a hypnotist.
He's a very creepy dude, which is like, he'll stare at you and like kind of wish what he wants at you and the lights go dim.
You want to go to sleep.
And then people do what he says.
Yeah. Or they kind of almost do and then they come to their senses. This is important for later. Kane needs more money and Meg can't move in with him because of all the gossip. So he decides to rent a room out. Who needs a room but Dr. Herbert West?
And he's a weirdo.
A super weirdo. Dr. West continues his experiments in the basement. He brings back their cat.
After killing it, presumably.
We don't know.
He claims he found it dead.
You couldn't call or write a note.
What would a note say, Dan? Cat dead, details later?
I don't know if it's a gesture of goodwill or he's just continuing his psychopathic behavior, but he brings that cat back to life with his glowing green serum. He brings the cat back to life and it goes psycho. Starts clawing at him. He has to kill it again. But Kane walks in on this. Kane's very upset until Herbert West is like, well,
but it works.
It works.
And Kane's like, it does work. We could be rich and famous.
Also save people.
I don't like you, but I like the thought of winning a Nobel Prize.
I like the thought of saving people.
West convinces Kane that they need to do this. They need to show their doctors and their deans that this is a real thing that can work. So Kane, having access to the morgue, is like, I guess we can go to the morgue and try it on one of the fresher ones?
It'll be fine, because when people realize what we've done, they won't be upset that we just brought some random dead person back to life.
We'll be heroes.
We can be heroes! Dr. West has a theory that the fresher the body, the better the chance of his solution working. And that seems like it might be the case, but he also brings back to life a lot of people who don't do so well.
Like the freshest, buffest dude in the morgue.
So buff.
He'd comes back as kind of like an angry zombie and beats the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. And then when the dean shows up so they can prove that their serum works, this dude, buff-ass dude, kills the dean.
Brutally. So they're like, well, this guy just died. We could try the serum on him.
I love this scene because I got it. Because Kane's like, what have we done? We've just killed him. We can't do it again. But then he's like, but if I bring this guy back to life, it does fix everything.
Exactly.
You know, like otherwise you still have 2 dead bodies on your hands.
Worst case scenario, he'll come back as a zombie, but he won't be as buff.
Yeah, he'll be less buff.
So they bring him back, and he's a little bit less psycho than the buff guy, but still not 100% human.
But when Meg shows up, he kind of understands her and like settles a bit.
So now Meg's dad, the dean, is crazy. Dr. Hill takes him and puts him in his little padded room that he keeps off to the side of his office for some reason.
Yeah, can we talk about this office for a second?
Yeah.
What is the layout of this office? He's just got like one little quarantine room for just like a padded cell with a window just for him.
With 2 African-American men that are always on duty.
Yeah, 2 African-American dudes that just live in this little hallway in his office. Like, because he goes in there, they're there right away. Like,
That's true.
what is going on? Dr. Hill, he does some experiments on him. He's like, he should be dead. And he realizes that Dr. West is right. He did come up with this serum that can bring people back to life.
Because he's technically dead, but he is acting like he's alive, even though he's crazy.
So he decides to go blackmail Dr. West.
Dr. Hill understands now what Dr. West's potion does, and he's like, I can use this for myself, and reveals his whole master plan, like, as a soliloquy. I was like, why are you telling him everything? And also, how long have you been working on this theory?
Dr. West is able to fight his hypnosis and cut his head off. There's a lot of decapitations in movies with shovels. I'm just asking, maybe in the comments you can tell me, is that a thing? Is it easy to decapitate someone with a shovel? And of course, when you got a dead body so fresh,
You gotta experiment on
gotta
it.
experiment!
So he takes the head, puts some of the serum in, which works. He comes back to life.
And then his body comes back to life, and he somehow still has control over his body. That is never explained, nor does it really make sense.
Nope, takes his head with him, runs away back to his own lab.
And the special effects for that were actually pretty fun. I feel
Yeah, sometimes I was like, I see what they're doing with that. That's like a mannequin, and the guy's on his knees, the head's here.
And they had some fun music when he's kind of like doping around. Then we find out that Dr. Hill has a plan. He's going to start lobotomizing these dead corpses, then bringing them back with a little of the reagent that he stole.
And his hypnosis?
Combining all 3.
To control them as like a dead army for himself.
Yeah.
Including Meg's dad, the dean, who he convinces to go kidnap his daughter, who Dr. Hill's in love with, and bring her to his lab and strip her down on a table.
Things get weird.
Like, real weird. He's holding his own head and like licking her boobies.
And more things.
Heading downtown.
If you have the unrated version, it gets very graphic.
The poor actress.
What do you say to your parents? Like, you should see this movie. And
They're like, nah,
that's...
that part.
Kane and Dr. West show up. Dr. Hill brings all the zombies back to life. There's a big fight. Meg's dad remembers who he is, remembers who Meg is, and he crushes Dr. Hill's head and starts fighting all the other zombies so that they can get out of there. They almost all escape. Dr. West, though, gets grabbed at the last second by Dr. Hill's intestines.
He's like, I got a plan, and he uses some of the serum,
Yeah.
which makes Dr. Hill's intestines get bigger and like turn into a whole new life form or something, and he kind of kills Dr. West.
But
Presumably. We don't actually see him die, but he's not doing well.
But he throws his stuff to Dr. Kane. Kane leaves with his stuff and Meg. They almost get out. Then a zombie grabs Meg and chokes her. And she dies. But she dies from asphyxiation, which in ways to go, that's probably one of the least harmful ways to your body to die.
Right.
She's only been dead like a couple minutes. They can't seem to bring her back. What to do?
Might as well try it.
Might as well give it a go. Movie ends with him taking his Re-Animator agent, sticking it inside of Meg, and then you just hear her screaming over the credits. So she comes back to life.
But it's in a fun way.
I mean, she was probably the freshest body that was the most put together in the movie, so the best chance of her being normal.
True.
The movie's fun though.
I like this movie.
It's dark and violent and gory.
But it's like well done. I think the acting was really well done. Even though there's like way too much of the couple loving each other, like I bought it, and then later when like all this reanimation stuff kind of comes between Meg and Kane, she's like not happy about it, and I buy that.
It was well written, like you said, the acting's good. Dr. West is like a very well done sociopath.
He's good at acting like a creepy ass character. Also, Dr. Hill's very good at being very creepy. I don't know what other kinds of roles he would play with that face.
No.
He's like a handsome John Kerry.
Yeah, a handsomer John Carroll. You still look good there, John, but he's
Johnny K.
But this guy who's been decapitated and forces himself on women, he is more attractive.
More attractive to me. Definitely check out this movie if you haven't already. Leave us comments on what you think about the movie and our review.
See the unrated version if you can. There's a couple of extra scenes. Yeah, leave us a comment at the bottom and subscribe.
Goodbye. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Hopefully you don't die. If you do, we'll bring you back. Frank brings people back in this movie several times, and it never...
Frank?